Well, hi. Today we're here to introduce Regina Smith with Independent Adult Day Centers to tell us about who you guys are and what's going on. So, Regina, I'll let you tell us, who you are and who is Independent Adult Day Centers.
Yes, I can. Hello, everyone out there in communication world. So, yes, we'll start with who Independent Adult Day Centers is. So, we are Independent Adult Day Centers is a daycare center for adults. Any adult that's aged 18 and over living with various diagnoses from intellectual disabilities to Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a huge umbrella, so it encompasses Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's, frontotemporal dementias, all the types of dementias, or just the aging population who is living at home, who's bored, who's suffering from isolation. With COVID here, people have been locked in. And so, what a way to transition out of your apartment or your homes from just sitting there looking at the four walls or watching all the reruns of Steve Harvey and to come into the centers and get some activities. So, that's who we are. Adult Day Services. We provide all type of services up under the umbrella of just coming in and being socialized. um, you want me to keep going with that, or?
Sure. Yeah. Well, tell me. I guess one of the questions is now how you've got multiple locations. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yep. So we have three locations. We have one on the northwest side of Indianapolis at our Guyan Road location. We have one on our northeast side of Indianapolis up in Fishers. And then we have one down on our south side of Indianapolis, which is at Shelby and Raymond. So we kind of, we're centrally located where we can kind of cover quite a bit of territory within the Indianapolis area.
I think a lot of people don't necessarily really know what, especially in our market, in the central Indiana market. I think that adult day centers are not necessarily as well known or well understood. Who would be your primary target client that you could really serve the best?
Okay. So adult day centers have been around for a little over 20 something years now. And, the target population used to be folks with, like I said, with just the dementias. But now our target population is anyone who is, needing that socialization, needing engagement, needing. So with our services for our folks, because we have the healthcare coordination, which is one of our services we provide, someone could want to just come into the center just for the sake of utilizing that healthcare coordination. They want someone to make their doctor's appointment, take them to and from the doctor's office. After they have their visit, say they want to come in for lunch, they, instead of going back home, they're welcome to come into the center and have lunch with us and play. We have the big bingos going on. They can hang out and do the bingos, so they get that socialization there and that engagement. And so then again, there also, we have times when we're going to the casino, so they may want to sign up and hop on the bus and go to the casino. So all of those types of lifestyle enrichments that our communities like to engage in, they're able to do that, being a part of the adult day services and a part of our healthcare coordination. So we would be reaching out to that working family member who is that sandwich generation, who's caring for their mom, their dad, their loved one, their husband, their wife, that early onset dementia patient or guest, someone who is probably, maybe their loved one is not in the city. They're coordinating their moms or their loved ones healthcare from across the nation, and they've had to pick up the phone and they're saying, my mom is in a whole nother city, but you guys, I'm in another city, but my mom needs adult day services. So anyone who is in need of their loved ones to be safe, that cannot stay at home by themselves or just need some social engagement. We
I
would.
remember I was a guy in at one of your events, and I met several of your
Mhm.
uh, guests there who basically live on their own
Yes,
and come in and
yes,
for because they want that social. They have the food
yes.
there, they have the different opportunities there. what is this also something that you're working with, like for caregivers that are trying to keep mom or dad at home and age at home, that they can work and they can do other things and no mom and dad's taken care of? So that another area that you guys cover?
Absolutely. So our dynamics are different at all three centers, and it's not necessarily something that we planned that way. It just kind of fell that way. But our Guyan location has all three. It represent all areas, okay. But most of the guests at the Guyan location are your independent individuals. Don't know why. They just happen to be that way. They're the ones who talk to their case managers and say, "Hey, this is something we'd be interested in doing." It gets me out of the apartment. I no longer drive. But then there are also those ones who family members work and they oversee, like myself. That's how my mom got there, because I was working and I needed to still work, and I needed to also keep an eye on my mom. So I was like, you know what, you're coming to adult day. So I placed her in adult day, so that I could keep a better eye on her. And I knew she was safe and she was getting her medications and she was eating. So those were some of the reasons for me. And it's some of the reasons why a lot of other people utilize adult day services as well.
And you guys do, you go and pick people up and take them home and the whole bit.
We
Is that
do. We
correct?
provide door-to-door transportation. Our model is a person-centered environment, and that person-centered care sometimes include where while we do door-to-door, sometimes that person-centered care requires us to get out of the vehicle, come knock on your door, and assist getting your loved one out of the house, not just pull up in front of your house and call you and say, "Hey, we're out here." Sometimes our drivers have to go into the house and help your loved one or navigate the stairs or the elevators or whatever the barrier is that prevents you from getting out of the space to get onto the van. So, yep, we do personalize the care and get you out of your living space onto the van.
Well,
And
I know your chefs are good because my wife's always thrilled when we have a party at your
yes,
place and I come home with dinner. So,
so our nutrition is another huge part. We definitely believe that a major part of some of the depression and some of the UTIs and some of the decline in our senior community is because of their nutrition. And so with that nutritional component, we have prided ourselves in placing a chef in each center, and each center meal, or our philosophy in meal, is that we don't introduce any preservatives in our food. We use locally sourced vendors as far as our produce and our vegetables are concerned. Everything is cooked in-house. With the chef, we don't do a cook to order. Everyone thinks we have a cook to order. We do have a planned menu. We do have a planned menu, but it is cooked to order when it comes to that diet. So if someone needs a pureed meal, or someone needs a mechanical diet, or someone needs their food cut up, or however they need it prepared so that it can be consumed, we do that. And if someone is a vegetarian, we can do vegan, and we do those types of meal preparations. But it's not McDonald's. It's not 2 off beef patties.
well, tell me something for someone that has never been. By the way, your communities are absolutely beautiful. They're amazing.
Yeah.
But when someone is trying to figure out if this is a thing for them or not, how can you show people how it's not going to be scary to come and talk to you guys? That you can kind of walk them through the process.
So for one, now that's where you get into, for me, it's the passion of it, because I solely believe in adult day, and not that I don't believe in long-term care, because eventually, you will have to. Some people will have to utilize long-term care. It's not that it's a negative thing, but I just believe in adult day services as opposed to long-term care, just because of the way I process things. But someone who is it's adamant about keeping their loved one at home, or just not really sure what they want to do. So we look at what the need of that caregiver. If that caregiver is able to bring their loved one, first of all, we look at the shape, what shape that individual is in. If they are in need of some skilled care, and that skilled care is beyond the care of the center, what our centers can do. Our center is has HCC, which is the healthcare coordination, but we also have launched a home healthcare company, which is a skilled company. So we are still able to take on some of those skilled care needs in the center as well as outside the center. So we do that assessment to see what those level of care needs are. And once we determine those level of care needs, then, you know, we bring those family members in, we bring that guest in, and we look at that guest and we look at those needs, and we look at our space and we determine, is this something, you know, we've had guests in our environment that have had trachs, wounds. We do wound care. They've needed some trach feeding. We've had guests that needed to be on the floor as opposed to being in a chair. So we've had them in all types of situations. We've not had them bed bound, but we can go to the homes of those that are bed bound, and we do the attending care. So we send those activities home, and we send those engagement, the same activities that we do within the center. We're able to take those same activities and do them in the homes with those guests and keep them engaged. We connect them via Zoom and via the internet. We do Facebook bingos and Facebook Pekino, and we have dance parties on Facebook. So we try to keep them engaged in the home as well, because that's our virtual adult day service as well. So we try to keep them fully engaged. So we, even with our home health, we don't just send them in to the home and they just sit and, you know, once they've done their household chores or attended to the guest needs, they're not just sitting and waiting till the shift is over. No, there's activities that have gone into the home to engage the guests, to keep them occupied, keep their minds and their bodies moving and going until their loved one is home or until that shift is over with. So when you do all that, the caregiver is more apt to be relaxed, to understand and to say, wow, you know, this is phenomenal, and to see it happen. And if it ever falls off, you know, we hold ourselves to a standard. You know, you if this falls off, you hold us responsible and hold us accountable, and we will make sure we fix whatever we see that is not happening. So
Do you do like respite opportunities for people as well, or?
so it's an adult day is respite, you know.
I understand that, but I'm just, you know, let's say somebody goes, I just need one day a week as a caregiver that I.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have people to come once a month. Yes, we do. You can come, but now with that, I do strongly suggest, if you're going to do respite care, give yourself 5 hours. You know, 2 hours is not respite. You need at least 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours to get something done, to go to the grocery store and actually enjoy picking up the fruit and vegetables and looking instead of rushing through the store. If you need to go get your hair washed, if you need a massage, if you want to have a lunch date, you know, you need at least 4 hours to just not think about your loved one that you are caring for. So yes, but we do respite care.
I would imagine a lot of people, you might try dip their toe in that direction, and then, you know, eventually realize the
Oh
benefit.
yeah, well, and then we offer caregivers that just wondering, is this something for me? We do allow you to try the service. For you, you can come in for a 4 hour day and enjoy lunch with us, enjoy a day of free to come and see how you like it, and just drop your loved one off and let them experience that day while you enjoy and get to feel what life could be like if your loved one was in the hands of someone a few hours a day.
Well, you know, this goes back to, you know, you and I are both dementia friends, you know, so we've taken that class.
Mhm.
Excuse me, but when you go through that class, one of the things that took me by surprise when I first heard it was the stress that the caregiver gets from taking care of their loved one. That what 67% of the time the caregiver passes before the one that they're giving
Absolutely.
care to. You know, so
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you're a reprieve to help them, you know, for their own de-stressing and opportunity as well.
Yeah, and even in those times, you know, we have times where caregivers have to take that time a step back and even utilize long-term care and put their loved ones in some respite care for overnight stays, or something happened where their loved one gets sick or need to, be in the hospital or something. I try to make sure, because I wear different hats around here as a social worker, then I'll come in from another point of view, and then I'm going to do some home care. So then I'm going to send that family member to dinner. I'm going to send them some meals. I'm going to send them, before the movie theater closed down, I may send them to the movies. I do those type of little touches to kind of give that caregiver some pick me up, to let them know that they are that they're seen, that they're loved, that they're valued. And so those types of touches are just as important as us giving them respite, because oftentimes, um, especially if they're caring for someone who has dementia, and if it's a FTD dementia, they have been talked to like they've never been talked to before. And so, it's hard when you loved on someone with all the love you can muster, and they have not accepted it or received it or welcomed it. And so you go away feeling defeated. So I just try to come along and encourage them, that they're doing a great job.
Thank you. Well, tell me, you guys do a great job there, but tell me, who are you when you're not there?
Oh my gosh. So I was born a caregiver. I'm always caring for somebody, even when I'm not here. So I just was relieved of having the burden of caring for my mom. So I'm just not really finding out who I am. Regina is being born again in a whole new way. So right now, I'm living in COVID like everyone else. So I don't really know who I am. I'm contemplating, and I'm really close. I just finished my application on my doctorate degree. So I'm probably a forever learning student. So I'm headed back to the classroom, is who Regina is.
That's great. Your family, you got family here in
I
town?
do. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I have two daughters. I have a daughter that's a physician here in Indianapolis, and a daughter that's an attorney, and then I have three grandchildren.
So the scholarly thing is it's hereditary, they
It
think?
is. I don't know if so they get it from me, but I don't know where I get it from. But I got, it's sort of like this COVID. I got bit by it, and it's it won't go away. So yeah, so that's pretty much what who I am after work. After work, I'm always just reading something, studying something, researching something, looking for ways to bring better healthcare to our loved ones, so that we can keep changing the world as the world keeps changing.
Sounds great. How would someone get a hold of you?
So I can be found at Regina_Smith at independent. Oh, excuse me. No, that's not. That used to be our old handle. It's Regina_Smith at adultday.com. It's my email, and 317-296-8815 extension 7 is my phone number.
Thanks for coming and sharing with us today.
Thanks, Jim, for having me to help you.